UMAR AHMED, IFL TV, MTK Global, joined by the Sky Entourage, Matthew Macklin and Johnny Nelson. Are you two the top boys at Sky? Apart from Adam, obviously.
Today we are. Tomorrow things change.
We are when it's cold.
That's right.
Derek Chisora brought his dog into the ring. What do you boys make of that?
Nice. He got, you know what? He phoned when I got mine. He phoned me, and he went to check out the owner. I thought, I knew he was getting one, but I didn't know he got one. And but he's one of the posh breeds.
He's just trying to win over all the women fans. You can't go wrong with a cute little dog, can you?
He knew he wasn't doing a workout. When a man walks in the ring for his public workout with poo bags round his neck, phone in pocket and puppet, he ain't working out. But yeah, good on him. He's realised.
Got a new trainer apparently, standing next to me. Do you know anything about him?
Do you know what? I think at this stage of Derek Chisora's career, it doesn't matter who trains him. He is who he is. You know, all he's got to do is get in shape, spar some rounds, taper off. He is who he is. Nothing's going to change at this stage of his career now. So, you know, as long as he's happy and he's in a good place mentally, up for the fight, that's you can't teach an old dog new tricks. And if he tried to bring in some big name trainer that was going to try and do that, it would be counterproductive. It wouldn't work for him. So as long as he's comfortable, and as long as he's going to the gym, and as long as he's putting the work in, I don't think it really matters who's in the gym with him.
Do you think the winner of Joseph Parker would be a good fight?
The winner?
Of Joseph Parker? The winner of this to fight Joseph Parker?
Yeah, because I actually think this
event.
fight's better than the Joseph Parker fight.
Really?
I think these two fighting each other is a better shout for us watching it against Joseph Parker, because we've got that. You've got that. You don't know what to expect with David Price. Is a penny gonna drop on this occasion? Derek Chisora, you don't know which one's gonna turn up. I think this is a more attractive fight. I do. I think Joseph Parker.
Is it a better fight than the Parker fight?
I do. I personally think it'll end up being a better
It's
fight.
not as meaningful. Joseph Parker, former world champion, one of the top-rated heavyweights. If Chisora got a win against Joseph Parker, it's a much more meaningful win than it would be against David Price. But as just a casual fan, or from an excitement point of view, then this is a good fight, because we all know David Price, we all know his story, we all know he can punch, but we all know he's got vulnerabilities, particularly when his confidence is low, he can fall apart in fights. So from a casual point of view, this is a better fight. In terms of significance in the wider landscape of boxing, of course Joseph Parker was a better fight. But this is exciting. There's a lot of anticipation here, because David Price does crack hard, definitely got a puncher's chance, and actually coming into the fight off a good win, against Dave Allen, where his confidence is at a good point. And he said there before he stayed in the gym because he was hoping to get a call, and he's got the call. So we'll see what we get from David Price. Chisora, new trainer. What does that mean? I don't think it means a lot, because I think he's who he is. But if he's looking past David Price, or he doesn't take him seriously, then he could pay the price for that. That said, if I was betting on it, I'd bet on Chisora.
Was that supposed to be a joke? Was it? Was that?
No. If I was betting on it, I would bet on Chisora, because he's a big favourite, isn't he? It has to be a big favourite. David Price has been too inconsistent. He's fell apart too many times. You couldn't bank on that. You couldn't back David Price to beat Derek Chisora. Definitely not. That said, that doesn't mean he doesn't have a puncher's chance, because he does.
I'm just going to get my bag, because we're in London and these summoners might nick my bag, you know what I mean?
Matt, I do want to ask you about a fight that's been announced today. Eubank Jr. will be going up against Korobov, who's just beaten Jamal Charlo. He's also beaten Andy Lee as well, and Korobov a really tough assignment for Eubank Jr. You're surprised AHMED and Eubank have taken that fight?
He needs a meaningful fight, doesn't he? He needs a big win. He's at that stage now where he wants world title fights, and I think it's interesting that they've picked the southpaw in Korobov, because Billy Joe Saunders is a southpaw. So unless there's a bit of strategy, unless it's strategic because of that, but Korobov's not an easy fight. But I think probably at this stage of Korobov's career, and up at super middleweight, you definitely pick Eubank to win that fight.
Okay.
I think so, yeah.
All right. Would you like to see that rematch though, if he wins with Billy Joe?
Billy Joe Saunders and Eubank. Yeah, why not? It'd be interesting. I think it'd be a similar fight. You got the physical, great engine, good fighter in Eubank. but Billy Joe will always be a better boxer than him. So, and it'll probably always be a fight of two halves. Billy Joe being too tricky and slick from early on, and Eubank then trying to close the gap in the second half. I think if they fought 10 times, it'll always be that type of fight. It's just whether or not Eubank could get to him quicker than he did last time.
Last time I spoke to you, we talked about Fury and the WWE stuff, but seeing all this now with Tyson getting in the ring with doing all these stunts, etc., are you worried at all that Wilder rematch might not take place?
You're always a little bit concerned when fights that you want to see happen that are made might not happen because of X, Y, or Z, an injury or something. But like I think I read a quote with Tyson saying, maybe I could get run over by a bus. I saw that as well. And he's right, isn't he? You can't wrap yourself in cotton wool. Life's life. Things going to happen. It's like sparring, training for fights. This is boxing. There's a good, it's a high intensity, massive contact sport. The injuries happen. So the WWE really, he shouldn't really get injured in it. I don't think it's massive for his profile. I'm sure he's doing all right financially out of it. And listen, good luck to him. So no, I don't have nothing bad to say about that.
We've got two huge rematches in that division coming up with Wilder Ortiz and Ruiz-Joshua. Obviously, we hope we get Wilder Fury as well. Who do you see as number one at the moment? I know there's a bit of uncertainty because of the rematches that are going to happen. But if you had to say right now at this time, who do you see as number one in the division?
I think Fury's the best boxer, definitely. That said, Wilder is an absolute concussive banger, and him and Fury, and then I would pick Fury to win, but Wilder definitely could knock him out because he could knock anyone out. He hits that hard, and I actually think that no doubt Fury will be better in the rematch. He'd only had two glorified spars really going into that fight, and I definitely thought that it was a fight or two too soon for him to win that Wilder fight. That said, I also believe Wilder will be better in the rematch with Fury because I don't think he realised just how good Fury was.
I think we have to see that.
I think he underestimated him. Where now he knows how good he is. Yeah. So I think that both of them are going to be better in the rematch.
Yeah, we have to see that as a boxing fan. So if you got Fury and Wilder, I think you're saying number one and number two. Yeah. You see Ruiz as a 3 at the moment, Joshua 4.
Yeah.
And Usyk.
Yeah, maybe 5 or 6. Yeah, 5.
Interesting times. But yeah, he has got to beat Ortiz. I know people going about his age and stuff, but just looking at the first fight.
That is not a foregone conclusion.
Definitely not.
Definitely not a foregone conclusion. He should beat him, and I think he will beat him, but that is definitely not a foregone conclusion, and I am sure he will have some hairy moments in the fight.
Could you imagine, though, if he kind of did a dominant Brazil on him? And that's 1 week, I think, 2 weeks before the Joshua Ruiz fight. Yeah. So maybe that will... Joshua's come out and openly said, before his fight with Ruiz, he had that knockout of Brazil, the Wilder Brazil fight, in his mind, and he had pressure.
Without a doubt. Yeah. I was over there in New York. I worked on the Brazil fight, and I was there all week in New York for the Joshua fight, and it kind of wasn't said, but he was under pressure not only to win against Ruiz, but he was under pressure to make a statement, to blow him out in 2 or 3 rounds, just like Wilder did against Brazil, as if like that was just
he can't given. Do this time.
No, just win the fight.
Yeah.
Just focus on winning the fight. If you win the fight 115, 113, just win the fight. This is a tough fight. This guy, so that's all his focus should be on. But definitely, Wilder banging out Brazil in such devastating fashion, then announcing the Ortiz rematch, then announcing the Fury rematch. I mean, this all took his focus.
He's only human.
He's only human.
Yeah.
It took all our focus away from the fight.
Who was talking about Ruiz on that week?
No one was talking about Ruiz. We sat in an hour-long fighters meeting, and 2 people asked 1 question each about Ruiz. That lasted about 30 seconds. So I'm on about the rest of the hour was on about what about Fury, what about Wilder, what about AHMED, what about this, what about this, what about PVC, what about top rate ESP. It wasn't about Ruiz. No. Everyone just thought it was a given that Joshua was going to blow him out of there in a few rounds.
Even him, to be fair, I remember him making some comments to Carl Frampton actually with the podcast him and Chris Lloyd do, that he wanted to meet Fury after the Ruiz fight and have a sit down with him to kind of get that fight on. So even he was saying that.
You know, he took his eye off the ball. That's what happened. Now, I think this rematch is a much harder fight than what the first fight should have been, because now he's been beaten up and knocked out, you know, stopped. He's been stopped, so now he's got doubts and fears and all that other stuff. I mean, he'll certainly, his focus will be there now. That obviously his focus wasn't there fight week on Ruiz. It was on, like you say, Fury. It was on Wilder. It was on other stuff. I don't think there'll be any problems with his focus for this fight. It's just, you know, I read an article the other week, and it went back through the history about guys that went into immediate rematches, and it generally don't fare too good, you know, in this type of thing. So, you know, it's the first time for everything, and it's not, but it's an interesting point.
We'll see what happens. You're going to be out there for Wilder Ortiz?
Yeah.
We'll see you there, and I'm sure I'll see you in Saudi as well.
Absolutely.
For two huge rematches, and as I said, hopefully we get the Wilder Fury as well.
Yeah, no, definitely. And listen, we all want to see those fights, don't we? So hopefully they all come through.
All right, Matthew. You started with you and Johnny, but it's just you standing alone now.
Me, myself, and I.
Saying he's going to get his bag, he just wanted to get out of here.
He's dipped. He dipped us.
All right, cheers, Matt.
Oh,
Thank
cheers.
you.